Good afternoon, Year 5. This is Mr. Emmens. Today I'd like to read for you the third text extract from the pack on the website under the Year 5 Home Learning tab. You're looking for English Year 5, week beginning 23rd of March 2020. As I've said, this is the third extract from that pack and it's titled VE Day. What is VE Day? VE Day stands for Victory in Europe Day and is celebrated on the 8th of May. It was the end of 6 years of suffering, misery, and courage during the Second World War in Europe. Although it was not the end of the Second World War, it was the end of warfare in Europe. How did it happen? On the morning of the 7th of May 1945, following Hitler's death in April, the German President of the Third Reich, Grand Admiral Dönitz, gave orders that General Jodl should go to the American headquarters based in France. Jodl surrendered on behalf of the Germans to the Western and Russian officers and agreed to all their demands. The announcement. The British people began celebrating as soon as they heard the news. Although no official announcement had been made, bell ringers in the church around the country were all on standby to ring out the good news when an official notice was given. Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Russians, was taking his time to announce the surrender, but the British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, did not want to give Stalin the chance to hold up what everyone already knew. Churchill made the following announcement in 1940 on the 7th of May. In accordance with arrangements between three great powers, tomorrow, Tuesday, will be treated as Victory in Europe Day and will be regarded as a holiday. The effects of war. In Britain, during the war in Europe, 500,000 homes were destroyed. Thousands of ordinary people were killed and millions of lives had been torn apart. Did you know? The three great powers were Britain, France, and the Soviet Union, which is now known as Russia. Bring on the celebrations. People began decorating the streets with banners, bunting, and ribbons. They organised street parties where neighbours shared food, which was still rationed, and listened to the radio news broadcasts. King George VI and the Queen appeared 8 times on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, and their 2 daughters, Princess Margaret and Princess Elizabeth, who is now Her Majesty the Queen, walked amongst the crowds. Churchill told the crowds, "This is your victory." Churchill spoke to the nation, reminding them that although Japan still had to be defeated, and the war was not yet over, for now Great Britain may allow ourselves a brief period of rejoicing. God save the King. The end of the VE Day. At 2100, which we know as 9 o'clock, King George VI made a final broadcast to the nation. Buckingham Palace was lit up in floodlights for the first time since the start of the war, and 2 searchlights formed a V, the sign of peace, above St. Paul's Cathedral in London. All the lights were turned off again the next day. Although everyone was pleased the war in Europe had ended, for many the celebrations would have been a sad reminder of the loss of many loved ones. They would have been fighting abroad, caught by the enemy, or died in air raid attacks. This meant that many did not completely feel the lasting joy of the time.